Hi. Why didn't you go on talking? Why did you stop talking when I came in?
Never mind, Herman.
Well, when I come into a room and everybody suddenly stops talking, it irks me. It even makes me mad when you start spelling out stuff.
Well, we were just all upset about you working so hard.
Yes, dear. And for such a low salary. Do you know what you're going to do first thing tomorrow morning?
Well, of course I do. I'm going to wake up.
You are going to wake up, and you're going to march straight into your boss, Mr. Gateman's office, and demand a raise in pay.
Lily's right, Herman. Down at the parlor, why should you take things lying down?
Well, gee, I don't know. I mean, I can't impose on Mr. Gateman. He's been so kind to me. He sent me that get well card when I was hit by that diesel locomotive. At Christmas time, he sent me that big basket of rotten fruit from California. He was so thoughtful of him, I ate it all.
Now listen, Herman. You're going to look Mr. Gateman straight in the eye. You're going to pound on his desk, and you're going to ask for a raise in pay. You're going to be a regular tiger.
Well, all right, if you say so, dear. I'll be a tiger. Rawr. Rawr. Grandpa, don't scare a fellow like that.
Never mind that. What are you doing sneaking home in the middle of the day?
I was just hiding outside till Lily left the house.
What happened with Mr. Gateman?
Well, I did just like Lily said. I marched into his office. I pounded on his desk, looked him straight in the eye, told him what a faithful employee I'd been, and demanded a raise. And, Grandpa, guess what?
He fired you.
How did you get?
Because I know my son-in-law. You're a hard luck guy. If you found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, there'd be a tax collector sitting on the lid.
What am I going to tell Lily? She's been counting on a raise, and if she finds out I've been fired, she might get mad at me and stamp on the floor and say mean things to me and shake her finger at me. She might even break my Huckleberry Hound records.
Now listen, Herman. You're a grown man, and you're going to handle this in an adult manner. You're going to do what every red-blooded American husband does in a case like this. Don't tell your wife a thing.
Well, Herman, all through dinner, you haven't said a word about what happened at the parlor today.
We were quite busy. In fact, we had quite a turnover.
I mean about your interview with Mr. Gateman.
Oh, that.
Oh, we're so anxious, Uncle Herman. Did he talk to you?
Oh, yes. He, talked to me.
Well, is he going to give you a raise, or isn't he?
Well, you see, dear, Mr. Gateman is a rather busy man. I think he wants to take the idea and sort of, throw it down the well.
Throw it down the well?
Yeah, you know, throw it down the well and see if anyone salutes it.
What kind of double talk is that?
Well, you know, Lily, he wants to take the idea and run it up the flagpole and see if it makes a splash. All businessmen have expressions like that to keep outsiders from finding out that they really don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I think Mr. Gateman is giving you the runaround. He may want to think it over, but I want an answer by the end of the week.
Well, I think you'll have an answer by the end of the week, if not sooner.
Marilyn, Eddie, Come and help me take out the dishes.
Boy, Herman, that was close. But at least you've got till the end of the week.
I tell you what, Grandpa. I figure I'll leave the house every day as if I was going to the parlor and not break the news to Lily until I get a new job.
Oh, I see. You want to keep the news from her as long as you can, huh?
Right. As we say in business, let's not start scratching till we know where the fleas are biting. Well, here I go, off to bring home the bacon. Of course, I've always been a hog for work.
Herman, it's been a week since you spoke to Mr. Gateman. Do you think I'll have a little surprise tonight when I open your pay envelope?
Oh, yes, I think you'll have quite a surprise.
Oh, I just know it's going to be a real nice big raise.
Well, Mr. Gateman should appreciate all the hard work you've done. After all, anyone with his experience and all his years in the business should recognize a live one when he sees one.
Well, yes, dear. Goodbye. I'll see you later tonight.
Well, Marilyn, we could certainly use a little extra money around here. For one thing, Eddie needs a new cover for his bed. The old one is getting so warped he can hardly close it at bedtime.
Mom! Pop went off to work without his lunchbox.
Oh, dear. Well, thank you, Eddie. Now go back to the kitchen and finish your breakfast.
Oh, would you like me to drop it off on my way to class?
No, Marilyn. I'll just call the parlor, leave a message for Herman with Mr. Gateman.
Oh, Uncle Herman could eat in a restaurant today. He says there's one right around the corner that usually empties out whenever he gets there.
Hello? Gateman, Goodberry, and Graves? This is Mrs. Herman Munster. I'd like to leave a message for my husband. You see, He what? When? Are you sure? But I see. Well, thank you very much.
Aunt Lily, what happened? All the colors rushed into your face.
What happened? Herman's going to work every morning this week has been a fraud. When the big goofball got fired last Monday. Oh, Marilyn, Here's one. Secretary wanted. Must type 120 words a minute.
She can't even write a note to the milkman without a dictionary.
Here's one, Aunt Lily.
Comptometer operator wanted.
Comptometer operator. She'd probably get the thing out in traffic and hit somebody.
Well, Marilyn, I have 6 or 7 ads circled here. I want to get started early. Would you come upstairs with me and help me choose something nice to wear to the interviews? I want to look my very best.
Yes, Aunt Lily. It's very important you make a good impression.
You know something, Grandpa? I think she's very serious about getting a job, and I am totally against it. What am I going to do?
Herman, listen to me. Lily is not going to get a job. She has no experience. Take my advice and just ignore the whole thing.
You don't think I should stand up to her? Order her to give up this idea and put my foot down as Lord and head of the household?
No, I don't.
Well, good. Because every time I do that, she laughs at me.
Well, Mr. Franklin.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Munster, but I just remembered we filled this position this morning.
Ready now, Irving.
This is Colette. That will do, Colette.
But he didn't say anything.
His eyes plainly said no. Well, next, this is Millicent. I think not, Millicent.
I hope he gets a concussion.
Irving, my new line of clothes is not designed for the Northwest Mounted Police. I need a model who is different. Someone with a warm, exotic flamboyance. Someone, in short, my dear Irving, who has great flair.
There's more waiting, Mr. Brastoff. Would you come in, please? This is Lily.
That's what I call flair.
Oh, thank you.
Irving, she's enchanting. Tell those other girls they can go home now.
Yes, Mr. Brastoff.
Lily, my dear, I don't know when I've seen a model who so perfectly reflects the exotic and mysterious appeal of my new line of dresses.
Oh, thank you.
You see, what I am trying to do here is to recreate the kind of allure that was reflected by women like Sida Bara. They called her the Vamp. That's short for vampire, but of course you wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, yes, I would. Oh, that's a very common nickname in my family.
Anyway, what I am attempting here also in certain of my dresses is to bring back an era that is gone. I'm trying to revive the dead, if you like.
If I like. I've always thought that was a fun thing.
Lily, I can just picture my customers' faces at my next showing when you come out in a Laszlo Brastov original creation and float around the room.
Oh, like this?
I rush to embrace you.
Tut-tut, Mr. Brastoff.
You're higher.
Grandpa, it's bad enough having my wife working, but I just cannot stand for Lily being a fashion model.
Now, Herman, let's not be too hasty there. It may not be all bad. After all, modeling is a very respectable profession.
Well, maybe.
Look, and she'll make good money, and the work is easy. Why, all she has to do is just put on the latest creations and walk up and down in front of the customers.
Well, I guess you could be right.
Now, when these men...
Men?
Well, you know, most of the out-of-town buyers are men. I mean, you know what they look like. You've seen their pictures in the magazines, those handsome, well-dressed fellows with 2 or 3 chicks on each arm.
I'll bet those rascals have a ball every day just sitting there and watching those models come out in negligees and swimsuits and take them out to dinner at night.
You ain't kidding, Herman. Boy, I tell you, there must be a lot of hanky-panky goes on in that business.
I just remembered. The hanky they'll be playing panky with is my wife.
You know, you're right. It's not only your wife, it's my daughter.
Lily! Lily! You come right down here this minute. I am not going to let her take that job, and that's that.
Uncle Herman, you were calling out Lily?
You're darn right I was. I want you to get that man chasing Homewrecker right down here. Toot sweet.
Can't mean Aunt Lily.
I can and I do. Now get her down here.
Well, I'm afraid I can't, Uncle Herman. You see, she left about an hour ago for her modeling job.
But... She left an hour ago for a modeling job.
Well, Herman, what do you think of that?
I'm so mad I could go right through the ceiling.
Herman, will you come down here and talk this thing over sensibly? This is no time to be hiding in the attic.